US deploys more troops to join allies against China. In the next few months, the US will deploy more troops from the ground forces, Marines and Navy, which will be deployed in the Pacific Ocean and Indian Ocean. While the U.S. Army and Navy have 85,000 troops stationed permanently in the Indo-Pacific region and already conduct Pacific Path-like exercises with allies and partners, the service aims to practice rapid deployment from the continental United States to the Pacific and Indian Ocean. They're going to have the challenge of coming to the Pacific with troops assigned to the Pacific already there, he said, and we're not going to Korea, we're really going to a South China Sea scenario where we're going to be around South China Sea. And another scenario we can do is the East China Sea. The exercise will consist of a lot of things the Army, the Navy, doesn't do on a large scale, said James. Troops will be in countries such as the Philippines and Thailand, and they will most likely work with other countries such as Malaysia, Indonesia, Brunei and India. The South China Sea has been a hotbed of contention for several years. China has claimed the territory, building artificial islands in disputed waters with military facilities on it, with it claiming to have the authority to restrict international navigation. Meanwhile, the service also extends the Pacific Path exercises that are carried out throughout the calendar year for approximately 5 years. The plan is to extend the time Army units are in the countries, which means going to fewer places. James said the Army realized that a longer stay would benefit the host country in developing local militaries and U.S. units so they could learn complex skills in a unique training environment. The Army recently completed Pacific Route exercises in Thailand and the Philippines, spending more than 3 months in Thailand and 4 months in the Philippines, not just weeks, said James. Thailand wants to work with the U.S. Army, planning to buy a Stryker combat vehicle. Stryker units were deployed there to help the local military familiarize themselves with the system. U.S. Army units in turn learn how to better use vehicles in Thailand's complex terrain. Thailand should accept the Strykers in the fall, said James. The Army also traveled to the Philippines to help the government develop combat brigade teams, he said. The Philippines formed BCT to respond more quickly to the crisis after experiencing a long and terrible struggle following the IS group's takeover of the city of Marawi. ISIS excavated the city before Philippine soldiers could respond, leading to 5 months of conflict in 2017, according to James.